The Chargers are likely to adjust their defense ahead of tonight's match with the Kansas City Chiefs. Memo to Arizona. Your pool is not Fort Knox. It does not need to be protected from the Dodgers. Elitists. Oh, by the way, after 34 years, 34, the LA Kings trade for Wayne Gretzky has finally come to its conclusion. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. I'm still pissed off over how the Galaxy just pooped on the bed last night, but whatever, let's get happier. It's September 15th, 2022. We added a new subscriber last night. Thank you. I appreciate every last one of you. If you like the content we put out about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we're out there. And by all means, comment, because I'm not perfect. I totally get it. So before we go through the news and notes from around LA, a quick look at the scoreboard. It was bound to happen. Bad night for LA. Took 10 innings. Arizona 5, Dodgers 3. But on the plus side, after giving up a 3-run homer in extra innings, maybe Craig Kimbrell will stop playing Disney music when he comes in from the bullpen. Please. Also, the Galaxy pooped the bed up north of the border last night. Vancouver 2, Galaxy 0. We have a rapid recap. You can find it on the Galaxy playlist. LA just blew a golden opportunity to climb above the MLS playoff line. Meanwhile, for today, the Chargers are going to play Kansas City at about 5 o'clock on Thursday Night Football. There is a preview that you can see on the Chargers playlist. In news for this game, well, Keenan Allen is out. He's not going to play tonight, and that's a shame. He has a lot of big games against the Chiefs. But the other thing that I found interesting, in the preview that I put up yesterday, I mentioned how it's not necessarily a good idea to blitz Patrick Mahomes, right? Because after all, the Arizona Cardinals tried it last week. They blitzed 51% of the time. Arizona dropped 44 points on them. Now you might say, well, the Chargers have Joey Bosa and they have Khalil Mack. Why not blitz? Brandon Staley last year only blitzed on 26% of Mahomes' dropbacks because Mahomes is not stupid. He can figure that stuff out on his own. 2 nights ago, the Diamondbacks were aware that the Dodgers were this close to winning the division. And so they remembered when the Dodgers won the division in Arizona 10 years ago and how the Dodgers, well, you know, they were getting drunk, spraying each other with champagne in the locker room. And then they remembered, hey, we're in a desert and there's a swimming pool. And so they ran out there, splashed around, you know, guy stuff. Arizona has yet to release the pearls. Their panties are still in a bunch, lodged way up the old booty. It has not been let go. How do we know this? Because we have video evidence. The Arizona Diamondbacks surrounded the pool with police. A swimming pool. The police. Tasers. Nightsticks, handcuffs, weapons over a swimming pool. Do you realize how super sensitive you guys are in the Arizona front office? Can you just, 911, can I help you please? Yes, come over to Chase Field. Mookie Betts wants to swim in my pool. I can't take it. He won't leave. Are you serious? Yes, Clayton Kershaw just spilled bubble bath in the jacuzzi. It's the worst night of my life. Get the police. Oh my God, I don't know if it's Justin Turner's beard or Dustin May's hair, but the filter is clogged. I can't take it anymore. It's a swimming pool. It's not that serious. This isn't Ocean's 11. They're not stealing the Hope Diamond or something like that. It's a freaking swimming pool. LA, by the way, now that they have won the division, they're currently the top seed in the NL West. And you might sit there and think, you know, James, that's coming up in a few weeks. What's going to happen? Glad you asked. The Dodgers, as the top seed, would not play in the first round. They would play like the winner of the 4th and the 5th seeds that will play in the wild card round. Now, if you're wondering, those two teams are currently the Atlanta Braves and the Phillies. Now, LA and the Braves have had a nice little rivalry the last couple of years. 2 years ago, the Dodgers eliminated the Braves in the playoffs. Last year, Braves returned serve. They eliminated the Dodgers. As for this year, LA is 4-2 against Atlanta, 3-4 against Philly. Now, if the matchup changes, I'll try to keep it up just to have a note to talk about. Trayce Thompson is a lucky man, and he knows he's a lucky man. Former teammates loved the guy when he was with the Dodgers. After he left LA in 2017, he bounced around with a bunch of major league teams, eventually got demoted to the minors. Corey Seager liked the guy enough that he would pour through AAA box scores to see how he was doing. Austin Barnes would work out with him in the offseason. And Jock Peterson, now with the Giants, he introduced Trayce Thompson to first a swing coach. That turned out to be ex-major leaguer Marlon Byrd, and then another coach to deal with the mental aspect of the game. And apparently one or the other or both had paid dividends. Because Trayce Thompson, before he returned to the Dodgers, was a career .220 hitter. Now he's hitting in the 270s with 10 home runs in 61 games, including a home run last night, I might add. Tony Gonsolin threw a bullpen session yesterday. Don't know how it turned out, but that's part of the rehab process. Same for David Price. He threw a bullpen session to see if his wrist was regaining strength so that he could grip a baseball. And also, Yency Almonte pitched a simulated game yesterday. Said it turned out well. He might get another before being activated again. I'd like to introduce you to my own Bauer bucket. And you might want to get a Bauer bucket as well. I'll tell you what the Bauer bucket is in a moment. What I will say is attorneys for Trevor Bauer shared a clip in court where he is asleep in bed. Next to him, the attorneys allege, is the woman who accused him of sexual assault. There's no injuries to her. She's smiling. She looks euphoric, like she just had the night of her life, right? So the argument Bauer's legal team is making is she's claiming that I beat the living daylights out of her, but apparently not, because she looks just fine in this clip, right? So I don't know who injured her, but it wasn't me. That's what Bauer is claiming through his attorneys. And I don't know what to say, because I don't want to say much of anything, right? If you want to see the clip, you can find it on Twitter. There's only one thing that I do want to say, aside from I don't know what the hell happened, so don't sue me. I'm not saying Bauer did a damn thing, but I am saying that you need a Bauer bucket with the way this case is turning out. Last week, we had to find out that attorneys were trying to discern the definition of the word brutalize, as if thousands upon millions upon, the whole planet wants to be brutalized in bed. I don't brutalize my wife. Maybe I'm a fuddy-duddy. I don't want to know what brutalizing is. Makes me want to puke. Hence, my Bauer bucket. Again, don't know if he did it. Not saying he did do it. But you know how you see like two people in public and they're just tonguing each other and groping each other. And you're like, guys, get a room. Those two people did get a room, and we're still seeing their personal sex life. I don't want to see it. I have a Bauer bucket for just in case I need to do that. It's not exactly an accoutrement that you want in your house. Yeah, that's my private Bauer bucket for when I puke, when I read news about Trevor Bauer allegedly being accused of something. The Bauer bucket. They called it the trade of the century, the one that brought Wayne Gretzky, the great one, to Los Angeles. That was back in the late 1980s, and it has finally run its course 34 years later. See, what is a trade tree? Well, if you trade one person for another and they both play for a little while with their teams and then they retire, there is no trade tree. It's just a little branch. But Wayne Gretzky had value. So did the players that the Kings dealt for him. And those players went, and then those players got traded. And then those players got traded. And then they got traded for players and picks, and so on and so forth. So it lasted for 34 years, way after the Great One retired. So how did this matter for the Kings? Because one of the trades helped them win the Stanley Cup, oddly enough, without Wayne Gretzky on the roster, obviously. Marty McSorley is the main branch of the Kings side of the trade tree. LA traded him twice. The last time it was to the New York Rangers. Now in that second trade, they get back Mattias Norrstrom, who was a fantastic player for LA. He was their captain for a while too, I might add. And they eventually sent him away for a first-round pick in 2008. Then they turned that pick into a higher draft pick in 2009. That pick was used to draft a guy named Colton Tubert, who was later traded for Dustin Penner, who was a key component of the LA Kings' first Stanley Cup run. So the last branch of the trade, by the way, was for a guy named Nelson Niegler, who signed with the KHL on Tuesday, which means he's no longer in the NHL. So 34 years after the Kings traded for Wayne Gretzky, the trade tree has finally reached full bloom. It's done. It's an impressive little story. Chip Kelly says he did not want UCLA to be called Transfer U, that a tweet that was put up about the school, about the football program should never have been posted. Basically what UCLA's PR department was doing is that they were saying, hey, everybody who transfers into UCLA, we're going to start you. It's amazing. We are more efficient with the transfer portal than anybody else. Chip Kelly is upset about it. He doesn't want that tweet up there. Here's the problem. Chip Kelly doesn't know how to delete tweets. And they say old guys rule on the t-shirt, right? You don't even know how to delete a tweet. Now, Kelly said the tweet wasn't necessarily wrong. It's just a limited view of the way the Bruins bring in players. Quote, we've been very efficient with our transfer portal, he said. He likens it to NFL free agency. And he just didn't want people to know. Cam Akers said that the criticism that he got from Coach Sean McVay is something that he might have to take to heart. Quote, if Coach don't think I'm being urgent, then be more urgent. That's what it comes down to, unquote. Basically, the Rams didn't have a running game against the Buffalo Bills. Akers, in my opinion, could play a key role, though, in Sunday's game against the Atlanta Falcons. They had a lot of difficulty stopping the run. We'll talk about that at another time. So, urgency, yeah, would be a pretty good idea. Also, the Rams have signed offensive lineman Jeremiah Colon. And Sean McVay also said that he expects left tackle Joe Noteboom to play versus the Falcons on Sunday. Now, if you enjoyed this clip, don't forget to like and subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We do talk LA sports here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back later today. Faithful Angelenos is a Corte El Queso production. Take care.